Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wrestling Fans Insight Sunday Takedown. I am your host, John Hoppe, and alongside with my brother and favorite co-host. Well, not my favorite. Wow, just kidding. One of my co-hosts. I'm sorry to the other three. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm fantastic, except for my knee.
Yeah, we'll right as we were doing the music countdown, Will racked his knee pretty good in the computer desk.
Well, because we'll make him sit in the corner and he'd probably be okay.
Well, if he would, if he would just behave himself once in a while, not like rock around. Just kidding. So, other than your knee, how you doing? Don't give me that look. Don't even start that shit with me.
You just wait.
Put out a cigarette in his eye. I mean, hi.
Hey! It's not smoke break time, but
Like I told you, things at work got extremely crazy and whatnot. So it's just been extremely busy, and I'm exhausted. I had a hard time keeping up with everything this week. So
yeah, there was a lot to unpack this week. And hello, Tricia Pilot. Thank you for joining us. And another Facebook user saying good afternoon. Carlos is also in the house. How you doing, brother?
Good. A little tired from my late night bender of wrestling yesterday, but I'm good. I'm here.
And Heather, how are you, chica?
Doing good, just a little bit tired. Just trying to keep up with all the wrestling stuff going on. I'm doing good.
Uh-oh, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Bryan, how are you?
I'm good. I think we all are feeling the SummerSlam hangover. Will's probably your favorite co-host because he's sitting right in that room to you. So if you are not safe to answer that question, don't respond for the next 5 seconds. And
there does happen to be a mallet to my left. So
yeah, he's not lying, and a screwdriver. So, but that's the wrong program for what we're covering today. That's supposed to be for the other program on Chaos. So, well, let's talk. Oh, whoops! I forgot to mute my notifications. But Carlos, how did your space go Wednesday night?
I had technical difficulties, so I couldn't hear anything. So the only person I really heard was Chris. But at the same time, it went well. I mean, we're building a fan base. There's some passionate, definitely AEW fans out there, but just also people who are willing to have good conversations and bring something to the table. So overall, it was a good experience, I think.
Awesome.
When I tagged in, it was Leroy and Chris running the whole show.
Yeah, because I couldn't hear us, but at the same time, I just let them kind of do their thing. They stepped in, so thank you to both those guys.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. X has got a good platform, but they still got a few bugs to work out on that space. That it was like that back when it was Twitter and all that. So, it's a work in progress. But I think with having multiple platforms, it's been really nice for us to get out there and talk wrestling with everybody. So,
and it did cut us off at the end. Did you notice that, Carlos? It just chopped us right off.
Oh, I ended it finally.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah, it just cut everybody off mid-sentence. I was like, whoa. So
yeah, well, because I couldn't because my phone kept messing up, and then I was trying to do something, and so I hit something, and then I had to restart Twitter. So when I restarted it took it away.
Gotcha.
But then we started another space right after that.
Yeah, one of the listeners said, "Screw it, I'll create my own space." And
oh yeah, that's how. I mean, that's it's cool like that. That's really. Again, the IWC community, as far as spaces go, it's pretty cool like that because someone else will just start a space and let people talk, and it's been an interesting experience. Again, I've been enjoying it. So we're building a good community little by little, which is what you want.
Yeah, we also have another space that debuted, not necessarily wrestling related, but more with the mental health. And Heather and her friend Obey Jess started a mental health space on this past Thursday, which I felt was a pretty good one for the very start. It was an experiment, but Heather, you're going to go again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, correct?
8 p.m. Eastern, 7 my time.
I'm sorry, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting the time zones mixed up again. Sorry. All that hot air drying our brain cells out here in Utah. But No, I thought it was a great starting space to experiment with, and we'll eventually get you a name going for it. But that was a great job you and Jess did Thursday night.
Yeah, we got to get it a little, try to, get a little bit more structure to it and come up with some topics and stuff. But yeah, it went pretty good. Just actually having a space, to be able to talk and discuss some stuff. And, because it's just like having people to talk to, 'cause, that's one of the key things,
Yes, without a doubt. And I mean, you want a spot where, people can trust and get some tips or, maybe a new process on how to handle their mentalities.
Oh, you guys just liked it because I was there and I couldn't speak up and stick up for myself. That's why you guys both enjoyed it.
Well, duh. We kick you while you're down.
Exactly. Oh,
Whatever. No, Carlos knows we were doing it out of fun. So quit playing the victim here.
and good job to you, John, too, with that space as well, helping them out. You all did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, John helped out a lot.
Well, I was there mostly support and get Heather in the right direction. So,
and a shout out to John's better half, Sarah, too, who was there,
yes,
contributing a lot as well.
Yes, I forgot to mention her because
of course
she
you did.
Also, but you know what? Kiss it, Carlos. But no, I actually more than appreciated my wife for doing that with me because I know how hard it is to talk to new people and whatnot. And she's like many of us who struggle with mental health too. So Sarah, if you're listening, we loved having you there and sharing your experiences, helping us get started with kind of what's always an awkward first time space. So, but again, Trisha Pilot asked, do we have a link for that? I will get it to you a little bit later today, Trisha. So I will send you the link for that space. But let's get right to it. We had quite the last couple of weekends with WWE PLEs. And first off, we started off with NXT's Great American Bash. I didn't have time to do the midweek recap and end of the road results, so I'm just going to kind of combine it in a way. And sorry, these matches aren't in order for NXT's Great American Bash, but I'm just going to go through the results real quick. The the team of Dragon Lee, Nathan Fraser, Yulisa Leon, and Valentina Feroz defeats the Metaphor. For the NXT North American Championship, Dominic Mysterio retained over Wesley and Mustafa Ali. In the Weapons Wild match, Roxanne Perez came out victorious over Blair Davenport. There was a no contest between Baron Corbin and Gabe Stevenson, so I gave everybody a point on that one. You're all welcome. For the NXT Tag Team Championship, the family, Tony D'Angelo and Stax, become the new champions over Gallus. The submission match, which I thought was pretty killer for the NXT Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton retained over Thea Hale. And the main event, the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes retained over Ilya Dragunov. Will, you watched this event, correct?
Yeah, but it might be foggy.
Oh, do you want me to start off with Carlos then?
Yep.
What? Okay, Carlos. Jeez, you like the attention, boy. But why don't we start off with your thoughts on NXT Great American Bash?
Hey, real quick, guys, I'm getting some feedback on here. Are you guys hearing that?
Like, is that my TV? Let me turn it down.
Yeah, I think it's your TV.
Sorry. Yeah, just
there you go.
Thank you. Okay.
I'll watch my porn later.
Yeah. So, Carlos, let's get your thoughts on NXT Great American Bash.
It was good. I mean, again, for me, I think, like you said, I was pleasantly surprised with Thea Hale and Tiffany Stratton's match. For me, like, I think Thea Hale's a special talent because to me, like, her facial expressions, like, she reminds me like of a Ruby Soho, like where she can sell with her face. And I think that's something that shouldn't go unnoticed by WWE. And I think that they see that they have something special in her. I thought that was really good. I mean, the whole card delivered. I'm glad Dominic won, of course. I think, it's smart to keep him on NXT right now with the ratings going the way they are. I think overall it delivered. Again, my match of the night would definitely be Carmelo and Dragunov, even though I feel like their chemistry is off a little bit. I mean, Dragunov just delivers in the ring. I really like that match as well. I was happy to see the family finally get some gold around their waist. I think that they've been, a staple of WWE, and I really thought with the amount of time they've been dedicating to them as story-wise that they were going to get the win, and I'm glad that they did. Interested to see where they go next with Gallus, but overall I thought it was a good show. I think it was entertaining, especially for being it's brand development, and it is what it is, but overall I think the show delivered.
Heather, did you have any thoughts coming off the Great American Bash?
I thought it was overall it was a pretty good show, because normally I don't really keep up with NXT, but the Carmella Hayes and Dragunov match, like, it was killer. I saw everybody talking about it was match of the year contender and all this stuff, but it was a really good match right there. I had already said that I thought Roxanne was going to beat Blair Davenport because of her new killer streak or whatever you want to call it. That she was getting her ass beat at first, but then she finally came back. So I enjoyed that match. And the Baron Corbin Bronson Reed match. What the fuck? I mean, not Bronson Reed. What the fuck? Gable Stevenson. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
There's some already.
I'm tired. I'm sorry. But I mean, what even was the purpose of that match? I don't even understand that. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. I was glad, for Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier and I don't even know the two girls, but I was glad that they won. But for me not to really be into NXT, I enjoyed the show.
Bryan, did you happen to do an episode Tap Out Talk for?
I did. I'll give you some highlights on it.
Awesome.
One of the reasons I will answer the question why Gable Stevenson and Baron Corbin were fighting, because Baron Corbin is now a pirate and he wants Gable Stevenson's gold, right? He wants that Olympic gold, matey. So that's a little bit of why he's fighting Gable Stevenson. So all kids.
So I'm gonna take it from that first remark. You're leaving the side chick at home this week. Well, actually, I am interested in some of the developments here that they had. But so Baron Corbin, he's a safe opponent for Gable Stevenson for his first ever debut match. I like that it ended in kind of a weird count out. And I like that they kind of got Stevenson used to more of the professional wrestling style versus the amateur wrestling. And they just got to work on that. It's development. So I liked the Tiffany Stratton match with Thea Hale. I've had my eye on Thea Hale as a talent since like her Nikita Knight days, which was, she had some dark matches and stuff. And I don't know, something, the way she played to the crowd, it drew me in. And I like to see her succeed. So I kind of, she's definitely not ready to be champion yet, but I do, Stratton's the way to go there. But I do like that they're starting to give her some exposure there with Chase U. For me, though, a couple things that I am interested to watch a little further is Wes Lee having the triple threat match against two main roster guys. And what that does tell me is that the WWE is grooming and getting a scouting report to see if Wesley's ready for main event level, as far as performance. And I could see him going to the main event. I don't think, he's going to go walk in and be, the champion of the world, but I do see him as like a tag team or something mid-card. I would really like to see a Ricochet Wes Lee tag team. I just think those two would be electric together if they could come up with an actual team name and make them look legit. And I think that it could just be one of the most exciting tag team champions in the WWE. And then Trick Williams is where I was really interested when watching this, because I always said the wrestling trope is, when your bodyguard and your muscle starts talking about how close he is with you and how you guys are best friends, I said, oh no, he's going to betray him in the main event. And I was waiting for the Trick Williams betrayal. It didn't happen in the main event of Great American Bash. And so, I think that could be the fun next big feud.
All right. William?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. He was on the other program.
No, my brain's just kind of dead today.
Oh,
Overall, I thought it was about a. And you're gonna be surprised about this. Out of a 5-star event, I'm actually placing this as a 4. And it was, for one, it gave me a lot of surprises that I wasn't expecting. 2, it was pretty much solid all the way through, except for the whole Baron Corbin Gable Stevenson match. But no, there wasn't a bad part about it. I think overall WWE had a very solid week. It wasn't anything spectacular.
wow. Yeah, that is very surprising from you. Not to one up you, but I think I'm gonna give it more of a 4.5 out of 5. Be honest, I thought this card was actually really well done. I know a lot of people were kind of mixed on seeing new tag team champions with the family over Gallus, but the problem is they've been needing new tag team champions now for the last 2 events, and I think Gallus 1 is just ready to move up to main roster anyway, but 2, Tony D was due for a championship somewhere in his career, especially in NXT. I like his character, but I just don't think he's main roster ready,
See,
especially with Stacks under his wing, you know.
my only big drawback so far for this event, I'm kind of tired of waiting to see Carmelo Hayes move up. He's ready.
Really? So you would have rather seen the title change to Ilya?
Absolutely.
But what to counteract that? What if they brought him up and didn't do anything with him? Would you? I mean, wouldn't you rather see him as the champion, being the main star, than going up to the main roster and not being utilized, like JD McDonough, for example?
I would have a problem if they decided not to utilize him. That's always an irritation that we all have with it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that he's so damn talented that he really should be up there.
Well, I can agree with that. I thought oh, sorry. Were you trying to say something, Carlos?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my video is glitching on me a little bit. I thought those two put on one hell of a match for a main event level. I mean, that was definitely NXT championship worthy match for PLE like that.
Yeah.
The match I thought was very, at first on paper, you were like, oh shit, this is not going to end well. But it actually surprised the hell out of me. Was that submission match for the NXT Women's Championship match. One, because these are the two, I believe this match was the youngest age competitors match of all PLEs.
Yep.
And these two really brought it. When I first started this podcast and I was given my reviews on Tiffany Stratton, I was not very high on her. In fact, I will be the first to say I was not into her character whatsoever.
He was back here in the studio rolling his eyes.
Yeah. Well, even my I guess you can say co-host back then before you, him and I had lots of disagreements between her, and I guess in some ways I kind of owe him a little bit of an apology. I'll probably do it at work or something because I see him at the office. But you know, I was ready to give up on Tiffany Stratton. She did not seem like she was gelling well with the talent. And then after realizing, you know, she's brand new, let's give her a chance. And you know, as they utilized her more in the ring, she's gotten much better. She's become a really great talent, and I think they made a great move putting that championship on her.
Yeah. This was a hard match for me to watch just because it's one of those times where I'm a big fan of both of them.
Yeah.
So
Thea Hill, despite her being green still, she improves every match she's participated in, but also, I mean, using submission caliber moves, you don't see that very much from young rookies. I mean, not this early in their career. And Thea Hill, I think, has got a good career. I think she does have a good future as long as she continues to keep working in that ring.
what do you think? Next AJ Lee?
Oh, no.
No, I think she's like a Ruby Soho with the facial expressions that she can.
Well, and I think she's got 5 more pounds on AJ Lee too. So, but you know, I think there's a lot of promise in both these women here in the future when they go main event level. The Gable Stevenson and Baron Corbin match, though, that kind of, I would say that was probably the bummer of all the matches on the card. One, because I don't like double count out or double disqualification finishes. To me, that one should have had a decisive winner, and it did not. I mean, for Baron Corbin being used to put over talent lately, if you're going to keep going that direction, put him over. It did show that Gable Stevenson, I keep having a hard time with his name like everybody else. It did show that he could hold his own up against any talent. However, I still felt he was maybe just a little too green to be on this main card, if you know what I mean.
So you're having a hard time with his name?
Yes. Just as bad as the Japanese
All
names.
right, let's flip it around and call him Steve Gableson.
Oh, geez.
No. We're not pulling the Daniel Bryan effect here. Jesus.
How about we call him Kurt Angle from Wish?
Oh, I think Vader from Wish is going to
kind of on that point. I'm glad they took that match more out of the ring and that they didn't do a lot of mat wrestling with that, because they got to get rid of the Kurt Angle Olympic. They got to get rid of the comparisons from him right now, because if they keep, making him compared to the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, his career is going to be over before it starts. So I was glad that they kind of went away from that in these first matches here with him, or the first match with him, just to build him up.
Wouldn't you think, though, you could have done this cinematic style, though, with like a amateur wrestling mat? You know how you got the circle on the mat and they keep them inside. That probably would have been made more sense, but I just don't. I think if you're going to put them in the arena, you could still have them in the ring, but they're not going to necessarily be all technical wrestling either.
I mean, if you're going to go cinematic, let's get them on a pirate ship, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's just have them like fight on a pirate ship, Pirates of the Caribbean style,
I was going to say, you're going to go Jack Sparrow on us now?
That's right, man.
Oh, dear Lord.
And down the keyholes, Mr. Schmeed.
But before we decide to move on to SummerSlam, Brian, did you have any final thoughts to give?
Now, for me, I always look at it as developmental. And I take that for what it's worth when I tell myself that, and I remind myself. And I always look at these as the 2-hour in your house shows from back in the day. I always I know they're go a little over now, but I look at that as like, look, these are just mixing and matching and trying things out. And so, if I compare it to an in your house, I'm like, yeah, it was about right there. I don't expect it to be like a WrestleMania. And that's helped me enjoy the product a lot more when I've lowered my expectations for NXT.
All right, Carlos, do you have any final thoughts?
It was entertaining. Like, again, to me, like I just look at it as like I appreciate them giving us content, but it wasn't. I mean, again, to me, like I think you guys are being generous with your guys' ratings, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. That's the thing I appreciate about wrestling, is that it has different fans, but it was I would give it a 3 out of 5 if I'm being honest. It's just I've seen but same time it was still good. I mean, it was nice to have wrestling to watch on a Sunday.
Yeah, Heather, did you want to give any final thoughts or?
Oh, when y'all were talking about Tiffany Stratton, did y'all happen to see where her TikTok video where she was putting Thea Hale over, where she was talking about how she really gave her, a good match, and how she really hurt her arm and she was so close to giving up, but she's talking about that little girl and all that, but she really put her over and talking about what a good match that she had with her. Did y'all happen to see that?
I did. I thought it was pretty cool of Stratton to do it, but you also, I mean, I know they're still early in their careers, but you want to be careful exposing that too much on a kayfabe standpoint. If it was like some other type of interview, that would have been pretty cool. And but no, it was awesome that she did give Thea Hale her props, though. That's not something you see very often with other talent these days.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool. That's what, I happened to think about it when y'all were talking about her. Because I hadn't, like, her attitude and stuff, I just really hadn't liked her very much. But then when I saw that, I just thought it was pretty cool. And Thea was so upset, because she had lost the match because the towel was thrown in or whatever. But I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good match there, and kind of made me like Tiffany Stratton a little bit more when she did that TikTok video. So that's all I had to say. I just thought it was cool.
All right. And yes, Carlos, we might have been a little generous, but you know what? Like you said, we do have different viewpoints, and that's why I love our show. So, but that's
Exactly.
what
And again,
that's
like
what we get for being
nothing wrong. Yeah.
WWE fanboys. That's an inside joke because we were talking before on the air. So, but why don't we go over the results so far for our predictions for the Great American Bash? And it really hurts me to say this, Carlos, but it doesn't hurt me to say this part. Carlos and Heather joined parts in taking the lead. Out of the 7 matches, they both predicted 6 correct. Bryan and I took third for 5 out of 7. Sorry, William. You were in last with 4 for 7.
That's what you get when you shoot from the hip.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's true. But no, that was, again, I thought it was an overall good card. But why don't we go from a good card to a better card, in my opinion? And we're going to talk about WWE SummerSlam. I thought this was, compared to last year, I think it dropped a little, but I still was entertained by the entire event. Unfortunately, I was one of the few that managed not to just watch the PLE, but watch the conference. And I'll say it out loud. I thought the conference was a little bit of a disaster right after. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that one for sure. It was one of those deals where I think Triple H should have been like, shit, let's end it. But nonetheless, kudos for them putting it up with it up until I think it was 1:30 Eastern time in the morning. So, Will, do you have any good thoughts on? Sorry, I was reading a comment from Trisha. Hey, now I guess didn't I not get any? Sorry, Trisha, I wasn't trying to neglect you, but I forgot what you said last week and didn't mark it down. So my apologies. What was your overall thoughts on last night's PLE event?
I didn't watch it till this morning.
Oh, bad monkey.
Okay, you can
No.
have my schedule.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Did we lose Heather?
No, temporarily. I'm sure she'll be
Okay.
back. But
Honestly, SummerSlam, there were a few disappointments for me. First of all, them dropping 2 of the matches, that kind of irritated the crap out of me.
now, hang on. Triple H said there was no such thing as drop matches last night.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
the card was not set in stone.
Just not everybody makes it on the card is the way
Yeah.
they put it.
I'm not accepting that answer.
No, neither were we.
They got dropped. I was disappointed with that. Overall, I gave it a 3.5 on the content. I really think NXT actually upstaged SummerSlam.
Hey, can you repeat that so Carlos understands?
I'm laughing on the inside. I'm like, you guys are fucking kidding me.
You can go ahead and laugh. Really, when it comes to the solidarity of the content, I truly believe NXT did better than SummerSlam did.
And no, and all joking aside, like I like there's like I have a friend too, like on Twitter, who's she's a big fan of MLW and other people who are big fans of Impact, and so like I've already told this to Will before, like I love that he appreciates the NXT product so well because they do deserve to have their fans like that. So no heart again, it's all good fun, but I disagree.
A lot of what gave me the feelings I did with SummerSlam was a lot of it was really just kind of predictable, even though I came in last again on my predictions. Some of it was really great. One of the biggest things that I enjoyed was more so actually the Cody and Brock Lesnar match because of the ending. Seeing Brock give that rub is very important to see when somebody's getting towards, the back end of their career.
Yeah. I guess there's a rumor that Brock might possibly be going back to UFC. I don't know how true that is because that's the first time I heard about it. But
I don't think he's got a whole lot of rivalries left to play out in the WWE.
no, I mean, he's pretty much faced every big man he can except probably Gunther.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. So
They said he was going to be at Fastlane.
Oh, see, there we go.
As as far as the Roman Reigns Jey Uso match, sorry, I'm over it.
What?
They found a way to just continue the bloodline. I've already said it. I'm tired of it, even though they're playing a different angle. I'm done.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, why don't we go to Bryan on his reaction?
All right. Did you guys hear any of my thoughts last night about it?
Unfortunately, not yet. Sorry.
All right. So you just want me to kind of give you the overall and okay.
Yeah, go ahead and give us the
I don't want to
cliff
be
notes.
negative. I don't want to be too negative right away, but all right. So let me compliment first. WWE did a good job with the placement of their matches on this card. I thought it was a really good order. We started out with a really great opening matchup with Logan Paul, Ricochet. I thought that was a great way to warm up that crowd. Not that they need to be warmed up right away, but I mean, they got them in there, and it was a really great special attraction. And then, going on straight through with the Brock and Cody, and then inserting that battle royal. I mean, that was just, I felt like their card was well placed through the night. So some of my things, I did enjoy the Brock Cody match itself. And I wasn't that excited about the feud going into it as much. And so for the match itself, I did enjoy it. I appreciated the fact that Brock, it was about I want to say it was like a 20-minute match roughly. I think it came in on the clock about 18 minutes. But, for a Brock Lesnar match, I thought that was a lot of effort there. What I did not like in that match, kind of counterpoint to Will a little bit, I did not like that ending with the nicey nice, let's hug and now we're friends for two reasons. One, Brock Lesnar is a dominant ass kicker that does not make friends with anybody. If anybody should have been that person, maybe The Undertaker in that sense. But even then, that's Brock's character. And then two, if a guy breaks my arm a month and a half ago, I'm not like, all is forgiven, no worries. And if you're spitting loogies on me during the match, as Cody alluded to in the press conference, and for me, I'm just like, no, I don't forgive. You can't forgive somebody that easy for, if you want us to buy into the kayfabe broken arm thing. So I did not like that part of it. I thought it came across as desperate by the WWE to get Cody put over. And I don't think Cody needed that, frankly. So that was kind of my overall low point of that part of the match, even though they had a great match there. I liked LA Knight winning the Battle Royal. Friends that were there in attendance, they were telling me the Ronda Rousey, everybody almost went to the bathroom during that match.
You could see it.
Yeah, they were just like, they said everybody was leaving for that.
Well, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it was also the less crowd noised match in all of the event.
Yeah, and that tells me the WWE didn't do a good job building it up, which we kind of discussed previously. I do like the fact that they tried to do an MMA thing. I wish they would have done a Lion's Den match or something to enclose them a little bit more, but it is what it is. Gunther, that match was kind of a slower pace for me than what I'm used to seeing, but we think we all knew that result. And then for me, the match of the night was honestly the World Heavyweight Championship match. That felt like that could have been on a SummerSlam major pay-per-view. I liked the Finn Balor, Seth Rollins interaction. Seth Rollins' wardrobe just scares me more and more.
He just needs to stay out of Becky's closet.
He's got to stay out of the closet. I'm telling you guys, like he's got. Is it daughter they have? Is it a daughter or son they have?
It's a daughter.
Yeah, they're going to start remembering this. Okay, so they gotta, you gotta definitely get there. I like how.
Okay, you're a parent though, right? What do you think embarrasses the kid more, that the way their parents dressed and having those pictures, or showing the pictures of their early childhood?
You know what? I think it might be that first one you mentioned. I don't know. They might
or your dad's dick pics that you can find online. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, I think he has worse things to worry about.
What's for keeping this show PG? Thanks, Carl.
So I did appreciate the World Heavyweight Championship match, and then when they took it into third gear, they used the Money in the Bank briefcase perfectly, and they actually foreshadowed a feud between Finn and Damian, but they also foreshadowed it between Seth and Damian, and I like how they utilized that without cashing in. The women's championship match, again, Money in the Bank being used appropriately. And then the final match, though, it just wore out for me. And I don't know if it was because I was so tired by the end of the night. We were going towards the 4-hour mark, but I don't think Tribal Combat really did anything for me. And I found myself at 36-minute match at that long of a night. I found myself just not finding anything special about it. And then the whole Jimmy thing, to me, that it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. Jimmy was the one that started this whole little rebellion. And so that tells me that WWE needed to find a quick fix for Roman being gone. And now we got brother versus brother at Payback, I'm sure. But I just don't like the wishy-washy reverse swerve stuff. So, all right, I tried to stay positive as possible, but yeah, get my points across. So,
yeah, way to be negative there, Brian. Heather, let's get your thoughts.
She's speechless. Wow.
I know.
So great.
Yeah.
She had to finally
No,
tribal chief.
it's storming here. It's storming here, and we're having a little bit of a problem with the internet and stuff. So, well, yeah. Y'all know how I feel about the whole Roman situation. Like, oh my God, I was so freaking mad. I saw that it just does not make any sense for Jimmy to come out and just to do that. And the only thing that I seen a lot of people saying that that he was not doing it for Roman. Like, he was kind of resenting Jay, because he didn't get the title shot, and so because like it wasn't like for him like celebrating with Roman or anything like that. I think it's stupid. I'm like so sick of the whole stupid thing. And then now Roman's going away for months, and so he just gets to sit on the title and not defend it. Like, just get rid of it. Like, he does not need to have a title anymore. I'm so over it, just beyond over it. And I'm just like the World Heavyweight Championship. The whole thing. Of course, the Judgment Day always has to get involved and everything. And Damian caught himself helping Finn. He ended up costing Finn the match. Then Bianca supposedly hurt herself, and then then come back and she won the belt, but just for Io to cash in. I don't know. I enjoyed the show, and then like the whole Brock Lesnar and Cody thing. They said at the end when Brock did that and raised Cody's arm and everything. That was not supposed to be done. That was totally Brock doing that on his own. Triple H said that himself. So I mean, I thought that was a cool moment. Y'all said y'all didn't like it or whatever, but I thought that was cool. But and Brock is. I don't know. They said they don't know what they're gonna do with him. Like, who's his next opponent's gonna be? Whether it's gonna be babyface, heel, whatever. But they did say he's coming back for Fastlane. But yeah, in the battle royal, and then a lot of people were bitching because they said that Trish versus Becky was kicked because the battle royal. Well, Triple H said it was not even supposed to be on the match on the card because there was no matches announced. But I don't believe that because I thought it was advertised for SummerSlam. But I mean, I'm glad LA Knight won the battle royal because I think it's past time for him to get a push. He needs, because they keep dropping the ball with him. But I mean, I enjoyed the show. But yeah, screw Roman. Like I always say, screw Roman.
You don't want to acknowledge him?
But no.
I've been trying so hard to get Heather to drop a few F-bombs today. I don't.
Yeah, you're a fucking instigator, John. You're the bad
there we
monkey.
go.
You're the fucking bad monkey.
Carlos is dropping it for you.
You're not Britney Spears, dude. Sorry.
So, without any further ado, why don't you go ahead, Carlos? Let's have you let loose.
So for me, like, like I asked, like, so, like, for me, like, okay, so I had to watch, I was watching a lot of wrestling yesterday. So I talked to our friend of the show, Eric, and I'm like, can I fast forward like the first 10 minutes of the matches so I can kind of get through it? Cause I don't want to be up till 6 a.m. And he's like, yeah, dude, he's like, you can probably get it with every match besides the Cody match. So in fairness, let me just say that I did that first. The Ricochet Logan Paul match was amazing. The whole time I'm watching the match, I was thinking to myself, why aren't we seeing this Ricochet all the time? Like I just mad at Vince McMahon because he hasn't let Ricochet wrestle like he cook, as the kids would say. He doesn't let Ricochet cook like he could because he's so freaking good. I would like to see him. I would like to see out of these guys a 2 out of 3, like we saw out of Cody and Brock. So I would like to see them fight again at Royal Rumble, then maybe fight again at WrestleMania, maybe with the Intercontinental title on the line by that time. But I definitely think Ricochet deserves more. Like I put on Twitter today, because Chris Van Lee had made the comment that like that Logan Paul is the new modern day Shane McMahon, and I agree with that because he can like literally just show up and put on a badass match anytime, and he's that guy that he comes in, 2 or 3 times a year, and he's gonna always put on a banger. So I really like that match. In fairness to you guys too, like the whole time I'm watching this card, like I'm counting minutes because I'm like, okay, they could have cut this 3 minutes out here, and that they could have definitely fit in the Becky and Trish match, especially for Trish coming back from retirement for this feud with Becky. It deserved to be on the SummerSlam card. So I'm just pissed that it wasn't. Cody and Brock was really good. I'm in agreement with, again, I like the whole match a lot. I'm in agreement. It was a little slow at times. And for me, that's something else too, as a fan, as somebody who is kind of, a big, wrestling mark, I'm a mark, I watch a lot of wrestling, so for me, like, if you're going to cut a match, I don't want to see slow paced in the card. I want to see everything fast paced. Because if you're going to cut a match from the card, or 2 matches in that case, 2 women's matches with Rhea and Raquel too, like I better see fast paced action. I don't want to see slow pace, because to me, like, you could have cut 5 minutes off this match and fit two more matches on the card. I thought it was good. Again, like Heather said, the whole thing with Brock was a shoot. And to me, like what Bryan said too, doesn't make sense. Like if someone breaks my arm, I'm going to be pissed. But at the same time, it made sense as a way as Brock was like saying, I was testing you. And that's kind of like what they've even talked about on Busted Open and stuff like too. Like having Brock cut a promo. And again, to me, it shows that Brock listens to Busted Open radio, because it made sense as far as like, I was testing you to see if you were the guy, and you are. So putting Cody over like that, it made sense to me, even though it was kind of weird. Because like I agree with Bryan. If someone tries to break my arm, I'm not gonna be like, hi, buddy. Again, to me, the Slim Jim Battle Royal, it is what it was. Like it was to put LA Knight on the card, and it finally was his moment. He deserved it. Especially that was a good payoff for the fans. So I'm happy that was there. The Shayna Baszler and Ronda match, that's the one match I got to watch on my lunch. And I was like, of course, this is the match that's on during my lunch. I disagree with you guys as far as I think they did a really good job building the card. Like, I think the fact that they gave them those 2 segments on Raw was really good. It's just unfortunate the fans weren't into it. And again, wrestling fans they don't have to explain their fandom. And to me, it was one of those things where, the fans, they didn't like it, and they walked out, and they were, you could definitely see it on the card. The fans were, in droves, walking to the bathroom, walking to go get something to eat. And it was just sad, because I feel like those women deserved better than that, especially with the build up to it. But again, fans, it is what it is. With the Gunther and Drew match, I was just happy to see Drew put Gunther over like that, because I think that Gunther deserved that with the reign he's been having. But again, the match, it really, again, it is what it is. Like it was what I expected it to be. The Seth and Finn match was really good. I just wish Finn would have had more of a little bit of offense, I guess, without having to have the Judgment Day there to interfere. I really wanted to see Seth win. I mean, I really wanted to see Finn win, but it does add more layers to the card. But again, it was a good match. And again, it just they paid off to their past. Again, I picked Io Sky to win, so I was really glad to see her get the title at the end. The one thing that I thought was funny was that wrestling fans complain about, them patting Charlotte's wins, but they're doing the same thing with Bianca. I think, if they gave Bianca another title reign, and just to have her lose it 2 minutes later. So, and again, it's just I didn't see fans online complaining about that. So again, if you're going to give the criticism about Charlotte, you gotta be equal and give it to Bianca too, as far as WWE booking, because you can definitely see they're just padding Bianca's wins as well, which she deserves it again. But again, I'm happy for Io Sky. Again, I feel really bad for Asuka. She's like the bridesmaid here. I wouldn't mind seeing Asuka go off and do tag team or something. But again, Io Sky makes sense as a partner, so I know they're going to do that. But again, I feel bad for Asuka. But at the same time, I'm glad to see them pull the trigger with Io Sky. I hated the main event. I think Darby Allin, who's a follower on Twitter, he posted that when they first talked about this tribal warfare match, one of the stipulation was there was supposed to be no interference. So you're gonna have all these guys interfere, then the match should have been called for Jay. And I get there's no disqualification, but if there's not supposed to be any interference in the match, then obviously there was. And I agree with you guys. It just was stupid to me. I thought that with everything else, with the building, it was almost like an hour for this. And again, to me, as somebody watching this, they could have cut this match in half and let Charlotte or let Becky and Trish fight. It was hot garbage. If I'm being honest, I didn't like it at all. Again, to me, it doesn't make sense that it takes 3 guys to beat Jey Uso. Again, to me, if you're gonna have Roman go over, that's fine. But Roman should have just done it cleanly, just one-on-one, just being an asshole and cheating the win. I shouldn't have took all those guys to finish him. I'd rather have seen Roman leave, have Jay come back into the bloodline, and have those guys feud with the Street Profits and Bobby instead of getting brother versus brother. I wasn't again at all. I'm not happy with the creative for the main event. Again, go away, Roman. Let's see if LA Knight can carry SmackDown like we talked about on our Twitter space on Monday. Let SmackDown be the LA Knight show, and let's see the fans prove that they want to see it by showing up and still supporting. That's all my thoughts on SummerSlam.
Oh, Carlos, that was I have to say that was the most balanced review I've seen from you so far. No, just kidding. No, I appreciate your review on that, brother, because there's many things I do agree with all of you on. The one thing I have to point out is I loved the way Logan Paul taunted Samantha Irvin.
Oh yeah,
ringside, especially. For anybody who's not following, Samantha Irvin is the fiance. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Of Ricochet.
Yes, is the fiance of Ricochet. So, having Logan Paul trying to say, hey, say my name again, say it again. And I love the fact that they showed Samantha Irvin's reaction after she announced Logan Paul's name. It was just hilarious. I thought they did a really great part on that story. To Carlos's point on the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match, I do think it was very underappreciated because both of those ladies did really tell a story. I'm with him on that. I just don't think they gave it the proper time to build it, is why the fan reaction was not so great on it. But the hate for Ronda is what really killed the match too, because I get some fans feel they were forced to watch it, but you don't have to watch every single match either. So as a wrestling fan, if you can't just realize there's always going to be one match you don't particularly care for, you don't need necessarily hate on the person, but just kind of look it over and say, okay, I'll get excited for the next match coming. But I was glad to see Shayna get the win and Ronda put her over, because I believe, and I'm sure somebody might have some better details, I believe this might have been Ronda's last PLE, as far as I know.
Yep.
Nobody knows, but again, to me, if it was, I would have loved to seen her go put her gloves in the ring and leave that way.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to be. That's the rumor is it is, but nobody knows for sure. That's just been the rumor.
What we do know is she has a hard date on her contract and she's not coming back. So if it was, thank you, Rhonda. I will say I actually was one of your fans, not just UFC, but WWE. I really loved the Gunther and Drew McIntyre match. I thought that was a battle of two big guys for what's supposed to be a hardworking championship, and that's what they did. They made it a hardworking championship in that match. I know there's a lot of mixed reactions saying Gunther should have lost that to Drew, and other people are saying no, Gunther should retain it because we want to see him beat the Honky Tonk Man's record. For me, it's not so much about the record, but if they tell a good story and perform a great match, and those two did. Wow, you okay there, Brian?
Yeah, I just knocked over the microphone, you know. Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good.
That bad monkey nacho cheese finally hit in, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It got in the way of my hand and it went flying.
Yeah. I thought the women's championship match was pretty good for the most part, but I think we all had a feeling. Well, I will say Carlos and Bryan definitely called it. They're the only two that called it in our group that Io Sky was cashing in. And I think after we saw that injury for Bianca where her shin or knee hit the steel steps, I'm like, yep, there's the sign right there. Io's cashing in.
And can I just give a quick kudos to Bianca for her acting skills? My gosh, like that's what sets her division apart from the AEW women. My goodness, what a job!
Well,
Wow.
the emotion she had on her face after
my
she hit the
gosh,
ground, she sold that really well. Because
she did.
I looked at Sarah and I said, "Oh God, she might actually be injured." But when they kept taking their time walking through that hallway, I'm like, "Oh damn it, she got us."
Gotcha, sucker.
Like, yeah, that's how I felt. She did a really good acting.
She did it
job,
to me again.
but
Ducky quack quack.
Yeah,
Ducky quack quack.
But again, congratulations to Io Sky cashing in her Money in the Bank, and after 1 year anniversary of debuting on the main roster, she gets her first single women's championship. Cody versus Brock, I thought overall was a good match, and I'm not going to give it great for one reason. Cody hit Brock with the steel steps. I know you guys saying you're bothered by the handshake and sign of respect after the match. The thing that bothered me was he hit Brock with the ring steps.
Just to remind you, I actually liked the handshake.
Well, I'm sorry. Okay, Brian, I'm gonna pick on Brett. No, but no. The thing that bothered me was
no. You're dead right about those steps.
It wasn't a non-disqualification match. So logistically, Cody should have been disqualified, right?
Yep. It was still a great match.
It was still a good match. I can't call it great, but
the ref had discretion because it was one of the main events. So it's the referee's discretion on whether or not he wanted to call that DQ. Okay.
The 4 main events.
Yeah. That's AEW rules, right?
And let me
exactly.
Let me
gotta cover. Yeah.
Let me tell you that's another thing that bugged me. 4 main events, really? Come on. But no, it was a good match. I did like the sign of respect Brock showed Cody. I wish that would have been more of like a WWE exclusive for the network only type stuff.
He should have said something. He should have gone on the mic and just said something about it. Like I had to test you and my respect. He should have, a little bit of words would have meant a lot there.
But I'm with Brian on that. Guy breaks my arm. I'm sure as hell not going to be reluctant to shake his hand for respect. I'm sorry.
Grudge holders over here.
No, we're going to iron out the issue. I'm going to go to my car and get my tire iron and we'll iron it out.
Yeah.
Okay, violent grudge.
I thought Seth Rollins, Finn Balor did a good job. But I am going to say I kind of actually have to agree with Corey Graves went on the commentary during that match. Finn Balor was at his own fault for losing that match, for not trying to accept Damien's help at that first bit. He tried to hand him the case and use it on Seth. He had plenty of opportunity there and didn't use it.
That was one thing I noticed about that whole situation, is really the only distraction that actually happened was Finn being distracted.
And by the way, Ted, the Hillbilly Hill, if you're listening, this would make a good segment for your Hill Truth right there. Cheap plug. But I mean, that told a lot of the story right there. And seeing the look on Damien's face after Finn lost, it's like, dude, I tried to give it to you.
I really hope this starts off the end of
Finn Balor and Judgment Day.
Yeah, I've been.
But it made no sense, dude, because with all the booking, like it's been like Damien's been the face, and now they're almost switching spots again. It's like, make up your damn mind.
Well, no, somebody's got to catch up to the Big Show's record there.
Good Lord, oh my God.
And I might have skipped a match. Oh, yeah, the Slim Jim Battle Royal. I think everybody called that the minute we saw LA Knight was going to be in that. To me, though, I'm a little disappointed because it kind of felt like a consolation prize for LA Knight. I would have rather seen him like in there for the United States Championship against Theory. And to a certain media person that was there at the after PLE conference, why did you use what was the purpose of Theory being in the Battle Royal? I like Triple H's answer because it was spot on, but in hindsight, as a fan, yeah, what the hell was Theory doing in that Battle Royal? That should have been a championship that being defended on the PLE. There was no excuse for that one.
Was Baron Corbin in it?
No, because Baron Corbin was involved more with NXT's Great American Bash. So,
well, they had him on American Gladiators on Monday promoting SummerSlam, because I thought it was really odd, and I made a comment about it, and somebody said, "Oh, he could still be in the Battle Royal." I'm like, I guess that's true, but I was curious about that.
No, he didn't end up
Should
making
have been
it.
a meat stick on a pole match. Right?
What was it?
It should have been a meat stick on a pole match. Sponsored by
Slim Jim on a pole.
Exactly. I mean, come on, he should have been there promoting Slim.
But to wrap it up, I thought the Universal Championship match was good. Again, I wouldn't say totally great because in my heart, I wanted Jay to take that championship off him like the majority of the IWC. However, I think when we all talked last week, well, the three of us that talked last week, we all pretty much had the inkling Roman was going to win. And
even though you picked Jey Uso?
No. On the podcast, when we recorded, I said I was picking Roman.
Oh, okay.
I said my opinion, I wanted Jey Uso to win. But I said at the final part, I have to pick Roman. I guess you weren't listening, though.
Well, it means every other text, everywhere else you've been picking Jay. So I for some reason I thought you picked Jay.
No, because I know deep down they're not going to have Jay win. I would love to if Jay won, but my counterpart to why I picked Roman, like I mentioned on last week's episode, was I had that gut feeling Jimmy was going to cost Jay the championship, and that's what happened. And the problem is now we didn't even see Solo walk to the back with Roman after the match. I don't know if you noticed that.
I noticed a whole lot about the whole thing. Like I said, I'm over the damn shit.
Sorry.
At this point, they've opened it up to be able to basically have a gigantic 4-way civil war.
Yeah.
And like you, they dropped certain hints that Jimmy was going to come out and screw Jay.
Well, yeah. I mean, when they injured him and all that and sent him to the hospital.
Yeah, and they just kept bringing up his name. You knew it was going to happen.
But I don't know if it's going to be a 4-way, though. I think we're going to see Solo team up with Jay. And
yeah, I think the same thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant individual 4-way.
It could end up turning that way. They've left it so damn wide open.
I think it'll make an interesting storyline if they have these two go their ways in a War Games match, because who all's going to be involved now?
Yeah, I'm over it.
Okay, fine. You're such a party pooper, but
no, I agree. Like if Jey Uso's not the guy, like Roman should have beat him fair and square 1-on-1. Like haven't had to use all this to beat him. Just again, what a clusterfuck.
It is. Because now they've got fans trying to figure out, okay, who's with who now?
Like now it's like they're too much into their own heads now. And then again, I don't know if you guys, and again, them giving Roman total creative over all this is a fucking mistake.
The other thing is with this whole, I'm going to call it a reverse swerve of Jimmy starting the rebellion and then Jimmy twisting it and going back. That creates a unreliable narrative. It tells us that we can't trust some basic things that the creative team's kind of laid out for us. And I know that we can have swerves that happen, but there shouldn't be that much illogical back and forth that it just makes it kind of like, well, this is just kind of nonsense at that
This is
point.
WWE amnesia.
Yeah, right. Amnesia, right? Bubba Ray Stutter and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
and then and again, the fact that there was supposed to be no interference in the match 2 weeks ago. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't happen on SmackDown. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, okay. Must have been a dream.
And it's probably because Jimmy wanted to be prom king or something. Remember that promo? So
Right. Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, listen to your older brother, Oos, okay? Yeah. Do you hear that, William? Listen to your older brother, damn it. No, just kidding.
And again, over it.
Well, I mean, I did try to find one of those lays on Amazon. You can't find it, so I think it's all released over that stunning lay. Everyone wants it. It's like the ring, the precious.
All right. Well, why don't we get down to the final parts here? So for the predictions, unfortunately, William. Unfortunately, Heather, you were 5 out of 8. Sorry. William, he came in 6 out of 8.
I got a C.
Yeah, you were the C. Unfortunately, me and Carlos were the B players. We both had 7 out of 8, which means I cannot believe this. Bryan was perfection on this. He was 8 out of 8.
So overall, did me and Bryan tie?
Whoa, what the
Sorry,
heck?
What about overall? So overall, we tied, right?
Hang
There
on.
was a
hang
big
on.
bright light that came out of the sky.
I haven't quite got to the final
Like
part.
your old profile pic where you're sitting there with your black and white with your hands up and around.
Exactly. Hey, that's my
Wow,
bird,
whose
man.
Cheerios did you piss in, John?
I don't know, man. God, I piss in everyone's Cheerios. I don't pick on one person. Just ask Heather. As many times as I send her a Roman ring picture in her DM, she's about ready to slap the shit out of me sometimes. So, but as far as the final predictions, here we go. Coming in last. Sorry, William.
Oh, I'm good with it.
10 for 13. So, yeah, you you were at 67% there for your picks, which you were still above 50. That's pretty good.
Pretty good for not being able to really
sorry.
focus much attention into it.
I think I said the wrong number. 10 out of 15 for 67%. Sorry, my math was like, wait a minute, that's not right. So William was in last place. Second to last, Heather, 11 for 15. Still not bad, 73%. So she lost her top spot from the last prediction show. I came in number 3 at 80%, 12 for 15. And unfortunately, these two monkeys are going to have to fight for it. They both came
We're
in.
tag team. We're talking about the hype and your daddy's tag.
Right.
We're fine.
Yeah, I think the only thing that saved your asses was that cash in for EO Sky. But both of you tied at 87%, 13 out of 15. So
Woo!
congratulations to the tag team of Bryan and Carlos.
There you go. Let the music play.
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. All right. We got the idea. I had to have that queued up. I was ready.
Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up for the day here? I'm going to give some shout outs first because I want to make sure these folks that have actually took the time to retweet our live podcast or our live broadcast here. Thank you for all you do. Big Doug, Jones in for Sports, that one guy, C, DC Girl Sylvia, Ben Holloway, Derek the Devastator, Parlay Joe, the Irrelevant Fan Couple, Saged Up of the Saged Up Network, and as we are now a part of that, thank you, Sage, for welcoming us. Today we laughed and learned. Chris and Deb, they put on a really killer podcast. And last but not least, Fan in the Van podcast. Thank you guys for taking the time to like and retweet our live broadcast. Also want to give a couple of podcast good shout out, both to Brutally Honest, 1420 Sports Bar podcast, and Is This a Bad Take podcast. William, do you have any shout outs to give?
Nada.
All right. Heather, do you have any shout outs? Uh-oh. I think we lost Heather. Carlos, do you have any shout outs?
Just to again, like the ones that you said, everyone in the 5150 group chat, thank you guys for the continued support. Just again, shout out to Nasty Leroy, Texas Red, and then also Mox. I forget the name, but it's everyone who's been in the spaces with me on this week. It's been a lot of fun, and also Chris Haas, thank you for your support.
Brian?
I think you guys covered a lot, so let me just cover fansofprowrestling.com. There's a lot of great people over there. NWO Machine, Vader from Wish, Ted Hill, Billy Hill. We got Austin Boyer, plus ourselves. So, shout out to everybody over there, part of that network. And if you want to be a part of it, let's get in.
And I also want to say we got our published tweets back on the main page too. So that was we were having an issue getting those up and going on the main site. So
nice.
You can now see tweets that we publish on our webpage at the Fans of Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that's what I was wondering your message meant. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. So, anyways, big thank you to StreamYard and Spotify for podcasters on becoming our platform and home to creating and hosting the latest episodes of the Wrestling Fans Insight. They've made it possible to listen to our show on Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more.
If you happen to like our show, we would appreciate a 5-star review. And if possible, leave us a review for us to read on the air for our future recordings.
And also feel free to go to our website, www.wrestlingfansinsight.com, and subscribe to get notified of our latest releases. You'll be able to find links to our show on your favorite listening platform.
You can interact with us in many ways. We have a Facebook group called the Fans of Pro Wrestling, or on Twitter. You can find me, William, at WilliamHoppe8. John?
You'll find me at WF Insight Podcast. Carlos?
At Seats the LOS 77, also at Conquer the No, and then on Instagram at Rainbow Goodness _.
And before I go to Brian, thank you, Trisha Pilot, for administering our Fans of Pro Wrestling group on Facebook. Appreciate you every time you do something for us there. So keep up the great work. Brian, you want to give your your X handle?
X. Yeah, it's like the X-Pac, right? At the Brian Adkins on Twitter, aka X.
And Heather, if you're still with us, you want to give us your handle there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. It's at Bama Girl _4 EVA, Bama Girl Forever.
And?
Roll Tide, bitches.
Jesus. Get it together.
Well, I don't know what y'all want me to say. So, like, one time I said it, y'all like, oh, no, you weren't supposed to say that.
All right, I got something new, Heather. I'm going to say OH, you say IO. That's what we'll start doing.
Wow, way to get the rivalry going already. Hey, hell. All righty, so we will catch you. Actually, I forgot to mention, I will be hosting a Twitter space tomorrow night, starting at the last hour of Monday Night Raw on X Spaces there. So, sorry, I called it Twitter a minute ago.
You'll be hosting? Okay.
No, it'll be me and whoever wants to show up.
I guess you're not coming on, right?
Yeah, good
I guess
Lord.
not.
Carlos gets so damn.
Join us tomorrow for the John Hoppe show.
Join me and Carlos and whoever else wants to show up. You'll find it on. You'll find us there Monday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm really screwed up with the time zones again. And furthermore, we'll catch you all tomorrow night. And we'll be back on Tuesday night with Tuesday Night Chaos. Carlos will be hosting on X Spaces Wednesday night at the last hour of AEW Dynamite?
No, just right after Dynamite ends. So 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
All right, 10 p.m. Eastern on X Spaces there Wednesday night. And Heather will also be back 8 p.m. Eastern time on X Space with her mental health space. So until then, folks, please be awesome to each other, be kind, and we will see you on tomorrow night on X and Tuesday night on your favorite audio listening platform.